everybody, it is Calxiyn here, and so today we are going to be talking about the Yang, Raven, and Spring complex. So to get this out of the way, this is not a video about Spring and Raven being gay. Hunter, would you like to explain exactly what you had in mind for your gay Spring and Raven situation?
Okay, so you're making this
to get this out of the way, you know what I mean?
You're making this sound like this is the only thing I ever wanted in life, and making it sound like what you're about to say wasn't my idea. But sure.
It was probably your idea.
It was my idea, but it was in the video that we scrapped. So, my idea was, it was just a tertiary idea, not the idea that Cal's gonna steal and say it was hers.
Okay.
Because I can't make this any more clear than I already am. She's a thief.
Mm-hmm.
You should not listen to her.
Hunter, do you wanna go ahead with
yes.
that? Okay.
So, what I had suggested earlier was that. Oh, do you look at that? So.
Okay,
I might need to redo my skill points later.
Great.
I'm sorry. So what I was suggesting that maybe, you know, that we mentioned this, I believe, like in our review of the newest episode, that possibly Raven and Summer Maiden might have a romantic relationship.
Instead of just a,
cool. And unlike what we sort of, like, what I suggested as well, like a mother-daughter relationship. And that could, without being the idea that this Spring Maiden represents, you know, this new daughter that you would love where you never loved me. It could just represent, you know, a different life you chose. Instead of being with Tai Yang, you chose, you know, this.
But why not take Yang with her?
Me.
If she just wanted a different lifestyle, but
Here's
then
the thing, right?
Yang.
This was just me trying to, you know,
I
mention gay
understand,
people.
I know.
I don't know. There is no accountability for that, other than she just didn't really like Yang too much.
Yeah,
I can imagine
like,
her being a pain in the dick kid.
I do agree with you, but she left as soon as she was born. Like,
yeah, I know.
You know. But like,
which is why the original one is the one I originally thought of.
The reason why I think it is more of a sister relationship instead of what kind of Hunter is saying, like a lifestyle change. I suppose.
I'm perfectly okay with it being the sister metaphor, and yet they still fuck. I'm totally okay with that.
Anyway,
so it could be less the daughter you chose and more the person, I guess. Anyways.
Okay. Anyway, I think it's more of the daughter thing because, as we know from this poorly crafted timeline, you know, Raven did seem. Good job at ultimate.
I learned I don't like playing with other people.
Anyways, so I think that something that is personally more interesting to me is that Yang and Spring kind of having this relationship and almost becoming friends in a sense. When she goes to the tribe, like they kind of warm up to each other because I could see Spring having a very similar sort of like sharp sense of humor. That Raven does, but then still kind of having, like, Yang's, like, funniness, I suppose. But then later, when RWBY kind of comes, like, they find out that, or Yang finds out, because Yang doesn't even know about the Maidens, not really, to the extent that RWBY does, and so it could be sort of a case of, I guess that Yang, what am I trying to say? That Yang, like, comes in contact with RWBY, and RWBY's like, oh, hey, you found the Spring Maiden, like, what? And then RWBY's like, yeah, didn't anybody tell you? Like, she's been with the bandits for the past 10 years, or something, and Yang gets really emotionally hurt by that.
I don't think that's common knowledge, though.
What do you mean?
But
RWBY knows that.
RWBY knows that, but only because a senior government official told her.
I'm saying,
it seemed to be
and so I'm saying that,
or even Crow, who's like all mysterious and knows
I'm
things.
saying that RWBY could tell Yang though, because RWBY definitely knows,
yes.
like when they get there.
Yes.
And so I feel like the bandits probably know, like even the older ones who've been there since the beginning, they probably are aware. Let's say.
Unless they're keeping her secrets hidden, who knows?
But like if they've been there but they know that Spring, like, joined them at some point, is what I'm saying. Not necessarily that she's the Maiden, but they do know that, you know, Raven took her under her wing, so to speak, and wing, Turn into a bird. Okay. And so there's also that aspect as well. And so I feel like whatever sort of bond that Raven and Yang could make would be destroyed by that revelation, and I think that could be really interesting. But something else I want to mention is the fact that Weiss is also around, and we know that Weiss has had her share of parent issues last volume, and so it would be interesting to see how Weiss interacts with Yang with this knowledge that Spring kind of came before her in a sense, and so Weiss could kind of give her the same advice that she did, and like,
I suck with other people.
I know.
Continue.
Like, you just suck because you didn't distribute your points properly.
I'm aware.
And so, it could be, like, the sense that, you know, Weiss could either kind of tell her, you know what, forget about your mom, like, I abandoned my dad and it was the best reason, like, the best thing I ever did, like, you don't, you know, you don't get to choose, like, you get to choose, like, the people that you want in your life, you know, you don't need to be kind of tied up in your family. Sort of thing. Or Weiss can say, you know, just to give Raven the chance, because, like, the past is the past, and you can't really amend that now, and that almost like she gave her father another chance, but then she realized that her father was the same as all of the other snobby rich people. So I feel like now that Weiss is in the dynamic, two things, though. Now that Weiss is in the dynamic, I don't know when we'll have time for this sort of, complex between these three characters, like Raven, Spring, and Yang. And so I don't know if we'll have time for that since Weiss is kidnapped, but also Weiss brings a new perspective on a family relationship. Yeah. Because as far as we know, like, Blake has a very good relationship with her parents. RWBY seemed to, like, loves Ty and probably loved her mother very much, obviously. So Weiss is the only person she can really talk about this with, and I think that's very fitting then that they decided to combine Yang and Weiss's arc together. You know? And so I feel like that's super cool, and that's definitely something that we should acknowledge as a very good idea from Rooster Teeth. So good job! I'm sorry if I don't sound like as animated in this video, it's just that my throat hurts, and so I may be talking lower than I normally do, because I do have a video voice, and Hunter points that out a lot. So, like, what do you think about that? Like, just how Weiss kind of works into, like, I guess there's two different ideas. There's that Yang finds out right off the bat and kind of talks to Weiss about it, or Yang doesn't find out and gets hurt by it, and that's kind of when the conversation happens. I don't know where this would fall in terms of Weiss, though.
I don't
just
think,
Weiss is kind of a prisoner.
I don't know if I'm considering Weiss too much, but when it comes to Yang, I just like the idea of, okay, so maybe Raven chose another daughter, I can choose another mother.
And, yeah.
I can choose Summer over you.
Exactly, because she does call Summer her mom, right? She doesn't seem to address Raven this way, and it will be interesting. Like, maybe she'll even put all of that aside and just want mentorship from Raven.
Maybe she
like, I don't want you to be my mom. I just want you to mentor me like you mentored
maybe
Spring.
Not Weiss maybe Raven may not even come into this. Maybe she's like, I don't care about you anymore. I'm just here for Weiss, or I'm just here to get.
Oh yeah, here to.
Maybe that's where Weiss could come in. That she's chosen, like, no, I don't have to give a shit
that
about you.
She's chosen her friends over.
Yeah.
Like, because maybe that will be the choice, is that you either get Weiss back or you don't get Weiss back, and then, like, something else would happen, right? I think that's a very good point, Hunter. I think that's pretty interesting. That, like, she could either pick her mom or pick to save Weiss from getting, I guess, traded for something, and so instead she chooses to pick Weiss, because Weiss is her kind of newfound family, and she doesn't really need Raven. I really like that, Hunter. I think that's a really good idea. Thanks. Thanks for making our videos better.
I always make your videos better.
Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say about this. Like, I like everything that you said. I think that it fits really well, and I wanted to get this video out before we see how they all interact, because since, like, I mean, I think the next episode's really gonna be heavy on Yang and Blake, but I don't think that they can not show us what Yang's doing, just based off of the fact that Weiss has been killed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and we didn't see any Weiss. We didn't see any Yang, I should say. We saw Weiss, and we didn't see any of the other girls. We saw
Weiss unconscious.
Like, yeah, and so I feel like, in that sense, you know, I just wanted to kind of get our ideas out before we see what happens, and we'll probably make, I don't want to say a part 2 to this video, but just kind of a reaction about, like, if our ideas were right, or how we liked how they did it, something like that, but this is more of a speculation video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, remember to join our Discord server if you enjoyed this video. Remember to become a patron if you kind of want to get some of our content early access. The early access thing has kind of, like, I don't want to say it's died, but it's definitely gotten a bit kerfuffled while we've been doing all of these videos. But if you just want to support the channel, you like the videos, you want to join our patron talks, you have a lot to say, like being a patron is really good for that, and it's only $1 to join our patron talks. That's like open to all patrons because y'all are cool, and it's not really blocked off by price. That's like one of our rewards that are for everybody. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. I hope that you do decide to do that, and I hope that we see more of this in the future so we can make more videos about character relationships. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Can we start making videos? My eyes are bleeding.